Hey guys and girls, it's Joe Gehring here with Abeloff Kia, bringing you a video of a comparison of two models, two highly anticipated models, the 2021 Kia Sorento X-Line Prestige and also the 2021 Kia Sorento Base SX. So bringing you this video to show you all of those differences between these two models, so make sure that you stay tuned. But before you start into this video, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, also hit the notification bell so you get access to all of the great videos that we're putting out. So stay tuned, we're going to show you all about these two. This is the SX, and I'm really sorry, but Sam's going around this car. It's a little bit dirty. I don't know if you all live in the Northeast, but we got absolutely hammered with snow earlier this week, so we're finally getting out from underneath it all. But the SX is the top of the line trim level, but then you go even a step further, and that's where you get into that SX X-Line Prestige. From this point forward, I'm just going to refer to it as the X-Line or the Prestige. Why are these vehicles, why do they exist? There just needs to be, you know, that step, that extra trim level, that extra something or other, the one to just take it one step further. And the SX is absolutely loaded. I mean, it's got so much in it. It's got drive mode select, and it's got leather seats, which, by the way, this is not a traditional leather seat. I've mentioned in some of the other videos, and if you haven't checked those out, you need to. The SX model is going to come with Syntex, black Syntex. This one's got the black Syntex, which is just like leather. I'd imagine, you know, maybe some version of synthetic leather. Sam is showing you the headlights. They're LED headlights. They got so much in them. They're bright, ultraviolet, high intensity discharge is kind of what I'm getting at. The SX model comes with fog lamps. The wheels are a point of contention. I'm going to get into why are these different. SX comes standard with a 20-inch wheel that is of black finish, and you can see that it's a gloss finish. It's black gloss, beautiful, looks great. But if you get to the SX Prestige, you'll see that alloy finish is just a little bit different. All right, it's called dark hyper silver, but also you'll see that the grille is the dark hyper silver as well. So, and they are branded a little bit differently too. You'll see up here on the badge on the front fender says X-Line on it. I guess you'll get some credibility there if in the supermarket parking lot when somebody sees that. You can tell, and it's I'm sorry, they are a little bit different. It's hard to see it, but the front grille, if you look, is a little bit different on these two models. This would be a black gloss finish. Looks good when it's not filthy dirty, and I apologize. You get over here, and this is a little bit different. Again, this is that dark hyper silver. So it kind of has like an alloy look to it. I think it looks great. Couple of things. Now we'll jump into the interiors of these cars. That's where you're going to see a lot more of the differences. To another point here for the outside, this one has a bridge style roof rail. On the SX, still comes with a factory roof rail setup. It comes with a standard style roof rail setup. So you'll see when they say bridge, they mean it's raised up and it's got gaps underneath it. That, you know, kind of like a bridge would, right? This is a solid roof rail setup, which is very functional, looks great. Most of the other stuff you're going to see is going to come in under the interior, and what you're going to see in the interior. One thing you won't see, it's specific to the X-Line, is this one has an adaptive all-wheel drive with center locking differential, and that's where the X-Line comes in. And they market this vehicle to be, I guess you'd say, a little more off-road capable. To be honest with you, I doubt any of these are going to see a whole lot of off-road use, but I guess the idea is that it would be a little more capable if you decided to do it. I mean, look what all success the Telluride has had, being that capable all-wheel drive big SUV. And I mean, the Explorer's talked about it for years, being that off-road capable third row SUV. But we're going to jump in the interiors of these, show you around a little bit, and we'll get you back to your afternoon. But thank you so much for sticking around and checking these out. The SX model, it's super nice. So when you're comparing these two, it's not even about which one's nicer, or I guess you'd say they're both fantastic. Some of it's going to come to preference, and some of it's going to come down to, if you really just want the top of the line and that's what you want, then that's what you're going to get. The SX, what's different? Okay, well, when you're in the SX, you get heated front seats. You don't get a ventilated seat. You're not going to get a heated steering wheel. The SX model has a beautiful interior. Again, the leather surfaces themselves. The SX gets a standard Syntex versus the X-Line, which is going to get a natural leather, a more natural leather, and you'll see it's stitched a little bit differently. The one that we have here for display purposes today actually has the, you'll see that it's stitched, it's cross-hatched almost. It looks fantastic. It looks beautiful. But in taking it around a little bit here, the displays are very similar similar, although I think the X-Line gets a little bit larger display. The X-Line comes with a 12.3 rear reconfigurable color supervision meter cluster. The SX does not get that standard. So when we talk about that display, the 12.3, that's what's actually behind the steering wheel. There's no analog gauges or anything like that. Everything is digital. In the centers of the two vehicle, if you get to where you're above where your air conditioning is, of course, we're talking about your navigation, your Apple CarPlay, your Android Auto, all of those things, all of the apps that you would use and stuff like that. It's a 10.25 touchscreen that you'll find in both of those models. So in terms of drivetrain, again, they're all very similar, but the biggest difference being the all-wheel drive setup being a little more advanced in the X-Line. But in terms of engine, transmission, the SX is going to have the same 2.5 liter engine, which if you haven't had a chance to get out and drive the 2.5 liter, I've said it in my other videos, you need to get out and drive it. Anybody who thinks that this thing's going to be underpowered because it doesn't have a 6-cylinder in it anymore, you have not driven one of these. 281 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque. And the torque is available from 1700 RPMs. So even though it's a turbocharged engine, you don't have to wind it up like crazy. It's not spinning out of control before it's making any power. Power is available from down low, and that really makes it perform like it's got a 6-cylinder in it. Even better than a 6-cylinder, because the old 6-cylinder, it doesn't have anywhere near as much power as this thing does. Of course, also mated to the 8-speed dual clutch transmission, which is a brand new transmission for the Sorento. If I've had a chance to drive some other dual clutches before, and this one is head and shoulders better than any of the other ones I've ever driven. Most dual clutches are notchy, it feels like, or they feel like they pause a lot, or they like you're almost waiting for that secondary engagement. It's not here. You'd never know that this was a dual clutch. I think that's a good thing. I normally don't like the dual clutches, not nearly as much as I like just a regular automatic. Of course, when you get into some of the technology stuff too, I'm sure I'm missing something because these cars just all have so much stuff in them. It gets pretty tense with all the stuff that they have. You know, like this one's got, the X-Line's got more cameras and stuff in it. So I just had Sammy jump into the X-Line so you could see the interior. Now this one's got the rust interior, which is an X-Line exclusive. They're not only available in rust, you can get them in 3 different color options. You can get it with gray, rust, or of course just regular black. But they all have that same stitching pattern in them and they look great. Now another thing that you'll be able to tell from an aesthetics point, if you saw Sammy was looking through the interior of the SX, the SX has like a really nice, I'm gonna say anodized, but maybe I'm saying the wrong thing. I don't know. It's got like trim pieces in it and they almost look like they have like some type of cross hatching to them. But it's textured. You can feel it with your hands. It's beautiful. It looks great. When you get into the X-Line, it's got wood inlays. Sure, they're not real wood. Yeah, simulated matte wood inlays. I assume it's to give it a little more contrast or something like that. Give it that next level high-end look. It looks really good and it's great on the touch. It's not like that fake, really hard plastic. Although it doesn't look like it. It's not like that super high gloss finish like cars 20 years ago used to have it. It looks very natural looking, which I think that, you know, it's obviously what they went for. A beautiful all-around job on both cars, and for anybody who's considering it, you know, you're going to be able to see right here what the biggest differences are. Both have drive mode select in them. In the book, it actually says that it's the X-Line that gets drive mode select with snow mode, although I'm in the SX right now and I can tell you there's a drive mode select and it has snow mode on it. So if you need some of the other safety features or if there's anything else that a little more top of the line stuff, you got to jump up to the X-Line. And a pretty good price difference between the two. The SX itself comes in at $41,280. The SX Prestige, I don't have the window sticker in this one, but I think it's like $44,000 and change. Definitely, you know, a few $1,000 between the two vehicles. What are there some other small stuff? Well, you know, the tires are the same. It looks like they pretty much use a Continental between both, which is a nice, soft, high performance variant. This is the LX Cross Sport. I've never dealt with these before, but they look pretty aggressive, to be honest with you. Guys and girls, thank you so much for sticking with us and checking out these two great new models. I gotta tell you folks, if there's a lot of people who come in even to this day looking for Tellurides, they're still sold out for months. If you think you need 3 rows, all-wheel drive, and a whole bunch of goodies, don't be afraid to look at the Sorento. It's everything it's cracked up to be. All right, guys and girls, so that's it. The 2021 Kia Sorento SX versus SX X-Line Prestige. Both are incredible vehicles. You need to get out there and see them and drive them and make sure you're comparing them. If you're shopping this segment, it's a super competitive segment, and I promise you these two are not going to disappoint. But make sure that you hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell, and stay tuned for all the great content that we've been putting out. Do appreciate everyone. Please be safe out there, and we can't wait to see you here in Stroudsburg.